purchase their merch. Hey guys, this is Mark from Rat Rod.
Hi, this is Mikey P from Skell.
Hey, this is Jeff from the Bell Jumpers.
Probably be Paul, because he's awesome.
This is Jessica for the band Dominic. You're listening to Pennsylvania Rock Show.
What's up, everyone? You are tuned into Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 756. You just heard a track from The Crowning called She's Running, and a new track from the Bell Jumpers called My 57. Start things off. We're coming at you on musicfromthe412.com, buildscene.com, xrpradio.co.uk out of Scotland, megarockradio.net, and 107.1 KFGD out of St. Louis, Missouri, rooterooradio.com out of Texas and California. And as always, I'm forgetting somebody. It'll come to me. Anyway, as I mentioned, it's episode 756. With me tonight are Cletus and Justin from Skies of Terra. What's up, gentlemen?
How are you?
I am really, really good at forgetting stations.
It happens. I'm good at forgetting things.
Sometimes I write them down. I'm going to flip back through my notes. I haven't written down in a while. That didn't help.
Come on, Bill, you're slipping, dude.
You're slipping. What's going on, man? You're a pro.
Yeah. 756 episodes in, and I'm still looking for someone to host my show.
All right.
Maybe at episode 1,000, you'll achieve your goal here.
Maybe. So you guys are just released. Is that considered an LP? It's what, 11 tracks?
13.
13.
Yeah. With segs,
And for anyone who's uninitiated, Skies of Terra is more of a, what's the word I want to use? Studio band at this point. Is that the way?
Pretty much.
Yeah, probably the best way to put it.
It used to be a full band, and left the scene for a little while. Came back with remixes. Is that what? Yeah, remixes.
Yeah, we came back with a remix EP. The Party Isn't Over, which I felt was like a funny name because we came out with The Party Is Over, and then we kind of took that hiatus. And then the remixes kind of reinvigorated our comeback. And to me, it was like our intro to like collaboration because the album has so many different collaborations right now. So,
excuse me, I don't have them all written down, but do you want to mention some of the collaborators, and how you guys decided on who you were going to invite to be on the album?
Well, this was like years in the making, to be honest, since 2020, like since before the EP, The Party Is Over came out. And at the time, I started kind of looking into collaborators. Pat, SEETHE. Him being on Invincibility Codes was always going to be a thing. Like there were a couple demos, and we kind of shelved it for a while because it wasn't ready. Josie Banks from Haven State. We were in talking about collaborating for years now, but we're just looking for the right time. Dom Bucci, who's on Homecoming, he was also on Cloud Chaser. So yeah, Justin found some collaborators. I found collaborators, and we just met in the middle, pretty much. Like Justin, you found you found Dom, and then you found Nick.
And also Brandon Palooka. Brandon Palooka was in a band called Witch Hunt some time ago, And him, just like everybody else in the scene, took quite some sort of hiatus away from music altogether. Nicholas Erickson is in an amazing melodic new metal band called Cohen Noise, based out of the state of Kentucky. Um, Don Bucci obviously is pretty much his own solo project called Alta. One of the best pop punk voices in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. Powerful voice.
And yeah, like since he was on Cloud Chaser, I always wanted him on another song, and Homecoming just happened to be the song for him to be on.
Homecoming was an interesting one too, because like I made the track and then me and Justin and I both knew that we wanted it in the collection of songs. But to me, I would have shelved it, but he took it to Dom and made it what it is. That was your call. So that was great.
Sorry, I got a message from Joanna asking if we could see the messages she was sending. So if anyone is watching live, if you go to buildaScene.com and click on the Dreamcatcher album that's currently sliding across your screen, it'll take you to a page where you can join us via Twitch, and we can see your messages. Or you could head over to YouTube, at Build a Scene on YouTube. And we're all over the place. Kick, YouTube, Facebook. Take your pick.
Check it out. Check it out. It's good for you.
Dude, is that a coffee?
Yeah.
You're a psychopath.
I am. I shouldn't be because I wake up at 6 now. But not to interrupt the collaboration list. I think there was like other people. Who else?
Chelsea.
Dylan Ellis. Oh yeah, Dylan Ellis from Enthogen, which is a 2-piece just like us, except they got a drummer for in studio and they're working on like a live set. Dylan Ellis makes the instrumentals, and he does on our collaboration for a Shooting Star that him and Chelsea are on. He did the breakdown with all the epic, symphonic elements that are added to it and all the bells and whistles.
The God of War or Halo breakdown is what.
Yeah, that was like the war battle, like that's the last battle. You know what I mean? And Chelsea did the Vocalise symphonic orchestral vocals over top of that.
Why don't you mention her band so everybody knows who you're referring to?
The Fall of Me, really creative band as well. Friggin' working with, finding that collaboration to add on to that section was just perfect timing. You know what I mean?
It was very last minute too, which is really strange. We tend to do a lot of things very last minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had Dylan Ellis's part like literally apparently a year ago at this point. And then Chelsea recorded her part in, I believe, September or something, we'll say.
What?
Maybe
Nah, dude, it was like 2 weeks before we released it. It was like middle of December.
No, it couldn't have been.
Yeah, dude, it's January right now.
It had to have been earlier.
It was maybe 3 weeks before we released it. It really wasn't that long beforehand.
Well, there it is. You come up with an idea and you just run with it. I felt it was important. I felt it was. It was just had to happen.
And also Dylan Edwards.
Dylan Edwards, who did a remix for WYB for The Party Is Over. So there's like some collaborators from before, you know what I mean? He did the guitar solo for Part of Me. Crushes it. He's an amazing guitarist for the band Fellowship. They're in West Virginia, I believe. Might have gotten that wrong, but Fellowship.
I think just Virginia.
Yeah, they're really good post-hardcore. They got like a Glass Jaw, Coheed and Cambria kind of sound. But yeah, I mean the collaborators on this album just had to capitalize on creating with people, trying to create a whole story and having these sounds interweave with each other, even
If I'm
down
not
to
mistaken, didn't Dylan Edwards, didn't he do the theme song for the Great Muda for AEW?
Sure did.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Hey,
He's a very
since we're kind of moving towards tracks, why don't we take our first break and listen to Dreamcatcher and Pardon Me,
sounds good.
and we'll be right back. It's that time in the evening where I am going to spin the wheel and find out who is going to win 2 tickets, courtesy of Dresky Entertainment and Music from the 412. It's that time in the evening where I am going to spin the wheel and find out who is. Okay, everyone. Okay, we're going to try this one more time. Forgive me. Okay, everyone, it is that time of the show where I am going to spin the wheel and see who is going to win 2 tickets to the Ragged Company on Tuesday, January 28th, courtesy of Dresky Entertainment. This week, we actually only had one person sign up, and that was Keith Laydig, but I'm going to spin just to make it official. If you are interested in the chance of winning tickets to select Dresky Entertainment shows, go to musicfrom412.com/contests. Keith has won a handful of times, so he knows how this works, but he'll be receiving an email later this evening with the information and follow up on Dresky Entertainment. With that said, Keith, keep an eye on your inbox, and everybody else, we are headed back to Justin and Cletus of Skies of Terra here on the Pennsylvania Rock Show. Hey, it's Bill. We're headed into this segment. You guys can't hear them, so you have no idea why I'm laughing, but we're headed into segment number 2 with Skies of Terra here on the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode 756. We also heard a new segment in between their 2 tracks there from Shady Lady Productions, where they have their concert calendar set up for me to go ahead and let you know what's going on with their shows for the week. You okay, Justin?
I think I'm dying, but I'm all right.
See, I told you.
Hey, so you could actually talk about both tracks if you would like, but this is that time in the show where you get to do storytellers and tell me about some of the music. Or you could pick one we didn't listen to.
What do you want to do, Cletus?
I could talk about Dreamcatcher because it's the title track. So Dreamcatcher was one of the later tracks. Kind of, it was going to start out as a seg that the more like electronic drums that you hear in the beginning of the song, that was going to kind of play out as a seg. It ended up having like this part that goes into like the rock part, and presented it to Justin. We both really loved it. at the end of the day, it ended up being more of like a duality of sides of like things. Like he had Homecoming, which was dedicated to his mother. Dreamcatcher was dedicated to my mother. I wrote the instrumentals in the beginning, like getting started with this role of the album and writing stuff. I had my mother's Dreamcat. My mother passed away in 2017, just to preface this. And I had her Dreamcatcher above me, above the desk that I was writing everything at. Wound up being titled that. The track Dreamcatcher, basically dedicated to saying goodbye to old things, um, old times. They could be good times, they could be bad times. It really depends on how you're looking at it. The point is, though, is that there's this sort of introspective with the person on the album that is going through these things. Like the intro to the album is the therapist talking to the patient. The patient goes into their problems, which is the songs about agony and pain and falling. The concept of falling in the album kind of comes to fruition in Dreamcatcher, where the the chorus comes in. It's like, you saved me. You saved me from myself. Inevitably, the song is about someone saving you from, you know, the big end all moment, we'll put it, for lack of a better term. In my case, because this is what I experienced in 2022, I was experiencing a lot of depression and a lot of moments with my addiction and everything, and PTSD, losing both my parents and a lot of things over the years. The one concept that stuck with me was my son walking up to my casket and seeing me that way, as I had to see my parents. So that concept saved me from that decision. You know what I mean? So it ends up becoming a turning point in the album where this person has now changed their outlook on life. They want to live, they want to survive this stuff, they want to live through the battle. And that is a lot of what the album is. Dreamcatcher, Part of Me, which is about letting go of these things. So that's another song about the realizations, about like the negative elements that are going on in a person's life. They need to get they need to cut this part of themselves off in order to survive. It's kind of like an anchor. If you're sinking in the ocean, you have to cut off that anchor in order to swim back up to the surface. In Justin's perspective, like with Homecoming, you know, he was saying goodbye to a lot of those things. You know, Justin, if you want to like interject and like talk about Homecoming real quick, because that is very that song is also intertwining with Dreamcatcher and Part of Me, and that self-reflection. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So if anyone actually has a chance to listen to the album from front to back, it's a concept album. It's meant to be listened to in order. Um, Homecoming for me essentially was a song that started to be written after the instrumental, and I believe it was 2022, 2023, something around that neighborhood.
2023 or so.
Um, so there was a point in time where my mother was constantly in and out of the hospital, and there was times where they said like, she's not going to make it out this time, or whatever the case may be. And she was out in like Beaver County, and she was in there dying for I think like the seventh time that I can recollect. And there were times where I just like really wouldn't come home. Like I would just go out and I wouldn't come home until like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Um, and I would just like be by myself, you know, um, and my wife would call and I wouldn't pick up the phone because I didn't want to be bothered by anybody. And that's basically what you hear in the beginning of the song. And essentially, it was played out to be an apology and more so me explaining what was going on in my head during all that. However, in that time frame, my mother was in the hospital again, and I remember going into Forbes Hospital, and she was like awake and alert at this time. But I would tell her like, "Hey, I'm working on a song," um, to where I don't scream, because she always wanted to hear me do a song where I'm not screaming. Um, and there was actually a time beforehand where like we went to the karaoke place we would go to all the time, Cletus. I took her down there not long after my dad passed away, and she wanted to hear me do um, "Forever Never Amen" by Randy Travis. And ever since then, she wanted to hear like an original song. So I told her, I said, "We're working on it." She said she wanted to hear it, but I said, "Not yet. It's not finished yet." And she never got the chance to hear it. So, and that's basically like uh, my sense of dedicating that song to both like my wife and my mother. Of like, it's a song you never got to hear, so I put you at the end of it, and it's a song that's like originally for her. That's why I put her in the beginning of it.
Yeah, a lot of dedication and like, self-reflection on the album. I mean, it was interesting because when he wrote the lyrics to it, to Homecoming, I take the song as someone kind of suffering from like bipolar. Um, and it's a lot of confusion up there. You know what I mean? I go through the same stuff.
Oh yeah,
So there's, you know, from Homecoming, Innocent Nightmare, these are a lot of like the lyrics are very geared towards someone who is suffering from a lot, like multiple things. And it's meant to try and attach to people in a multiple perspective. You know what I mean?
So we kind of took a turn here. And we left the Pennsylvania Rock Show and we went to This Is Me. I was looking for reaction
hey,
from Justin there.
hey, that's what happens, man.
So speaking of This Is Me, Jonna is in the chat. And she's mad at me because you guys can't see that she said she loves you guys.
Oh,
I don't know if she can see things, but
Yeah.
oh, tell John, I'll make fun of you like in a little bit. Don't worry.
All right, so we're gonna take our second break, and it's going to work correctly this time, and we'll be right back.
We're watching, Bill.
Everybody,
I mean, like the This Is Me podcast, like Jonna has, it's actually a really great podcast to where you can go ahead and just like you vent and you talk about your personal life journey, I guess. Her podcasts tend to go on for 2 to 17 hours, I think. Um, but I mean, I'm guilty of that as well because I talk a lot. And whenever there's certain subject matter, whenever it has to do with like music or anything that personally I'm into or anything, and it's like a mutual connection between the two parties. um, we kind of just like kind of go off the rails a little bit, but it's more so of like it's a very peaceful, very calming. There's nothing really like set up to what questions are going to be asked or anything like that, but it's a very good podcast, and um, anyone has like a depression thing going on or any sort of mental illness or anything along those lines, like John is the person to talk to about those kind of things.
open forum, if you will.
Very open forum. So yeah, I mean, tune in. There's different people on there. I believe she has them on there like every week to every 2 weeks.
Tuesdays at 8, I think.
I
Did get that
do
right?
believe it's Tuesdays. I mix my days up. I don't know what day it normally is anymore. So I just kind of go by the weather and the temperature and when I get paid. So it's
Fair.
pretty much
Those are holidays.
Anyway, if you're interested in checking out This Is Me, go to firstangelmedia.com. We can also find this podcast if you don't want to go to Build a Scene or Music from the 412 or all of those social media places that I mentioned earlier. but let's see. I have to ask you guys the pizza question, even though I've asked it of you multiple times. Maybe your answer has changed. Best pizza you've had. How about let's do it this way. Let's go specifically while recording the last album was the best pizza you had. And if you're going to tell me you didn't have any, pick something else.
I can't even remember, dude, because that album was being mixed up between like my place and yours.
Yeah,
And
over the course of 2 years.
I think I have had pizza at your place maybe once, but over here it was always Dom's. It was always Dom's. But I have to
Wait, did you say Dawn's?
No, Dom's, like Dominic.
Oh, okay.
But
because there's a Dawn's
pizza in Trafford.
Well, there's a Dawn's pizza in is that kind of Imperial? Dawn's Pizza 2.
That's too far out of the way, dude.
Well, that's where my wife grew up. They put their pizzas in a bag.
Ew, what?
Wait, what?
Put it in a brown paper bag.
Oh, like what's the place?
Like they slide it in the bag, like.
Nah,
it's like what Shelley's or Vincent's used to do, right?
But yeah, it was perfect because like it's an hour drive from where her family is to where we live, and it would like contour to our dashboard while we ate it.
Okay, I will. All right, so I will say, Inferno Pizza.
I've never had it.
There's only 2 of them that I can think of. There's one in Level Green, which is right up the street from me, and then there is one in it's like Irwin, I believe, Irwin or Greensburg. It's further out on Route 30.
So you mentioned Trafford. You just mentioned Level Green. So you're in the Penn Trafford School District.
Yeah, I'm somewhere around there.
Coincidentally, is where I did my student teaching. So, not that anybody cared to know that, but
there's standards to uphold now, Bill.
Let's see.
I think the only pizza I had in 2 years was Fox's Pizza and Casey's Pizza, all in Turtle Creek.
Yeah, since we don't really have much of a band and we don't play shows, we don't have really an excuse to go out and venture for pizza places. So big sad on our part, dude. Big sad on our part.
Is the Fox's that you had one of the ones that has like the cardboard crust, or one of the ones that makes their own? Because there's I've noticed it's either really bad crust or it's really good.
Either franchised or independently owned.
Yeah.
That's how that one's separated.
Nah, I can't tell because I'm used to it, but I want to say it's like that boxed one, but like, I don't know. I don't want to not put respect on their name.
If you think it's a good pizza, you think it's a good pizza. I mean,
down the street.
How about we all do this? How about we change this up a little bit? How about we all, on the count of 3, say the worst pizza place that we possibly can? Maybe we're all going to say the same one.
Worst.
Okay?
The worst pizza? This is easy for me.
Ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Papa John's.
Pizza Hut. Ow.
See, you said Sheets Pizza.
I said Sheets, yeah.
Sheets Pizza. I'm going to have to try Sheets Pizza so I can say that Sheets Pizza is at least worse than Pizza Hut, because I think Pizza Hut is horrendous.
So Pizza Hut used to be on the top of my list. And really it's just a pan. I don't know what they do with their pan pizzas, but it makes me not want to make it through the night.
They probably don't wash their pans.
And then the Sheets Pizza, whatever there's in their sauce, I've gotten old, in case you haven't noticed my gray beard, and those two
like little gray
definitely have to take something before I eat pizza from either of those two places.
I mean, Sheets is really a place that's not it's not meant to make pizza.
Well, they have flatbread pizzas now, and they don't taste terrible. It's just the few hours later if you haven't taken something or don't have Tums with you, you're in trouble.
It's gourmet gas food.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's I think it's the marinara sauce that they use. It's probably the same marinara sauce you use to dip your mott sticks in.
So here's what just happened there. Pizza Hut, Papa John's, and Sheetz will not be sponsoring my show.
Yeah, we
Honestly,
just ruined
good.
that for you guys.
Good.
Honestly,
But
there's a Sheetz right by my school, and when we have in service days, that's lunch. You know, if you find the right thing and you know put what you want on it, can't go wrong. And
I mean, their
Right.
salads are pretty good. Like if you get something light from there, like it's not that big of a deal. If you get like a regular like turkey something sub, like it's not that big of a deal. But it's whenever you get into like their fried foods and their burgers, it's like, man, I regret every single bite, dude. Every bite.
When I worked at Cedar Point, there was a Papa John's right off of, like, right outside the park, and it was both the worst thing and the best thing, because every other night, you would get a pizza where the cheese was stuck on the top of the box.
Every time.
And,
Every time.
Well, and here's what would happen: you would call and complain, and the next day they would give you the pizza for free, and they would make sure that it was on the top of the stack and not the bottom. But so we ordered pizza every night because it was we paid every other time.
Like
Wow.
here's the thing with Papa John's, and this is something that kind of bothered me because I used to live in Penn Hills, like right on the border of Penn Hills and Verona. So there was a Papa John's that was right on top of the hill. And it was like the only pizza place that would deliver to my part of town because we're way down in the hollow. No one wanted to deliver to us. It was a dark road. Everyone hated it. But every time I'd get Papa John's, like it got old after a while, but they put those stupid peppers in the box. And it makes the entire it makes the entire pizza taste like a peppercini.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you ruined it. And I even tell them, like, can you not put those in the box?
The
and
complimentary pepperoncinis.
And
86
somehow the pizza tastes worse without it. So I was like, I gotta find a different
Can you
spot,
guys
dude.
give me the pepperoncinis again? Like,
I guess
guys,
it like
I do have to kind of rein us in because it's actually kind of time for us to go.
you did
franchise
this,
pizza.
Bill. You
I
did
did.
this.
You got us in those pizza.
So real quick, on the screen, I have facebook.com/Skies of Terra. Is there somewhere else that we'd like the listeners and viewers to head out to get a copy of any of your music?
It's
Anywhere.
everywhere.
Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Deezer, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, anything a DistroKid distributes that stuff out to, it's there. It's available.
It's going to be on Bandcamp in like a week or so. So everything, every social media / Skies of Terra, that's it. Because, you know, if it's Skies of Terra, it's us.
Yeah.
And if you really want to help them out, you want to order it from Bandcamp because they're going to get the most bang for your buck if you order through there.
More than likely anything if we make like a certain amount off there, it's just going to get donated anyway.
Yeah, that's also the thing that we want to promote is any sales that actually go to streams or towards like buying the album. We're going to take all of that and donate it to a charity. So none of it's actually going to go to us. We're going to find a charity towards mental health awareness, addiction, anything, you know, to help cause, you know what I mean? So if that's any incentive.
Yeah, it's got to be something substantial enough for them to actually accept the donation.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they'll take like a $5 donation, but it's like, this is all we got, dude. So,
yeah.
But yeah, anything that's made toward that, it's going to go straight to somewhere else. So
very cool. So if you're listening or watching, make sure you head to the Bandcamp soon.
Bandcat.
Yeah, Bandcat. There was a cat on the screen.
Euclides has a Bandcat.
There was. He was
I
the
got a
Bandcat.
Bandcat.
Yep.
And yeah, John attacked kitty with lots of exclamation points. Hey, with that said, we are going to head out for the evening. I have one more track to play for you. This is an international artist. PMAD is the artist's name. The song is called Feed. And make sure you join us each and every Monday night live at 9 p.m. on social media. And then if you would actually like to hear all this music we've talked about, tune in on xrpradio.co.uk or buildascene.com and musicfrom412.com at 10 p.m. on Monday, and you'll be able to hear the full thing. And after that, it'll all be available. I cannot talk tonight. All be available on buildascene.com. With that said, I want to thank you two gentlemen for hanging out with me tonight.
Thanks for having us again.
And with that said, we're going to head off into the evening and hear that PMAT track.
Gang.
Enjoy.